Your better life is on the other side of fear. Whatever the hurdle is, whatever the obstacle that you face, whatever it is that's holding you back, that's where your better life sits. I can share a story with you. Back in 1998, when I wanted to change my life, I wanted to turn my life around, and I started to do personal development. I started to go to seminars, I started to learn, I started to read books. And so from there, I wanted to go out and teach. I wanted to go out and speak. I wanted to go out and run educational seminars. And the fear that I had was, what will people think of me? And I got myself booked into a talk. I had to talk to about 80 ladies at this weight place that they had a bit of a motivational night going. And the thing was this: I drove down there and I parked my car outside the venue and I sat in the car, and fear started to come into my mind. I started to think all sorts of stuff. I started to think things like, oh my God, what if they don't like what I'm talking about? Oh, what if they think what I'm doing stupid? Oh, what if they don't listen? What if they make fun of me? I started to think all this stuff in my head, right? So I started to get these fears that were holding me back, all right? Now I'm going back 20 odd years ago when this happened. So I sat in my car outside this venue, and I was being paid to go in and speak to run a workshop. And here's what I did. I put my hand on the keys of the car. I thought, oh no, I can't go in here. These people will think I'm silly. What if I forget what I'm going to say? You know, fear of public speaking is one of the biggest fears that are out there. So I put my hand on the keys, and I went to start the car. I was about to drive off and be a no-show, just not turn up. Then I stopped. And in my mind, I thought of one thing. And I thought, hang on a minute. They don't know what I'm about to say. They don't know the sequence of the workshop that I've planned out. So if I forget something, or if I stuff it up, or if I make a mistake, they're actually not going to know. And then I started thinking, well, what if I do go in there? And what if I do have a bit of fun? And what if they do like what I'm doing? I started to think about it in a completely different way. So here was the thing. I had to face the fear. I had to face the fear. It's like being in a ship, sitting in a port. You're safe in the harbour. But at some point, the ship's got to leave the harbour and go out into the headwind. It's got to go out into the big deep sea. It's got to go out through the bloody weather and storms and shit that you're going to face on the journey. So I had to face the fear. So I did. I went through and I accelerated through it. Now, the message of the story is this. A lot of people I see have got fears around property and property investing. If you're watching my videos and you're following me online or Facebook, or you're on my database, you're obviously got an interest in investing in property. But fear is the thing that's holding most people back. So I'm going to give you a little strategy right now that you can use that's going to actually help you overcome that fear, okay? Because your better life, your better future, your family's better financial situation, your better retirement, your financial security is going to be based on, can you overcome that fear? Can you cross that bridge? See, I had to face that fear of going into that venue and speaking in front of 80 women. And I did it. If I didn't take that step back then, I wouldn't be sitting here today running this video. I wouldn't have a business that I've got today. I wouldn't have my coaching programs that I've got. I wouldn't have been out running workshops and seminars like I've done for the last 20 odd years, folks. I would have just stopped and would have froze, and I would have missed out on all the life, all the opportunity, the business that I've got, everything that I've got going on now. It would not have happened if I never broke through the fear. So you got to look at it and go this way. Number one, write down what is that main fear. And I can guarantee it's going to be one of these things here. It'd be a fear of losing money. It's going to be a fear of being ripped off. It's going to be a fear of making a mistake. It's going to be a fear of buying the wrong property. It's going to be a fear of someone trashing my property. I'm going to get bad tenants, whatever. It'll be some sort of fear. So number one, stop right now and write down that fear. Then all you do is put it on a piece of paper, draw a line down the centre, have the fear on one side, and on the other side, go, okay, so what's the solution? What's the one thing that you could do that'll help you overcome that fear, that'll help you build that bridge from there to here, from being stuck to being, I'm on the game here, I'm in the game now, I'm learning, I'm expanding, I'm growing. What's the thing that you could do? What's the one move that you could make that's going to take you from here to here. So the step I had to take back then, 20 odd years ago, I had to face the fear. I had to walk straight in there and I had to start and run that workshop. I picked up 11 venues as soon as I did that one event into all their other groups. So for property and property investing, what's the one thing that you need to do? What's the one thing that you can come up with that's going to help you overcome that fear, build that bridge from there to there? Because here's what I know. When you go out and start something brand new, there's a bit of uncertainty, there's a bit of unknown. We're not sure what to do, how's it going to work, how's it play out? But I can tell you now, the easiest way to overcome that hurdle, to overcome that unknown, to overcome that fear is to maybe go and get yourself some more knowledge. Go and start reading a book. Maybe go to a seminar. Maybe get online and get educated. Maybe go and talk to some real estate agents. Maybe go and get some education yourself. But one thing that you can do that'll fast track all of that is get beside somebody or a group or a mentoring system who can help you and teach you and show you the steps. Because for any person that hasn't been down that path, unless you know the steps, unless you know the journey, you are only going to guess. And when you guess, that's when you'll make a mistake. So you don't want to make a mistake. And a lot of people that I see on my database and in my groups, they're heading towards their 50s. They haven't got time on their side. They have to make the right move. But if you keep on sitting there and procrastinating and letting fear hold you back, then how's life going to be 5 or 10 years from today? If you don't break through, if you don't cross that fear, if you don't build that bridge, tell me, where will your life be 5 or 10 years from today? Do you sit there and miss another property boom? Because I can tell you now, if you miss out on 10% capital growth on a 500 grand property, that's $50,000 in a year that you could have made. Tell me, how are you going to make that money? How are you going to save that money? If you're seriously sitting there thinking, oh, I'll be okay, I'll just save money, I'll have enough super, I think I'll be pretty right. Folks, you're friggin' delusional. You're delusional. You have to have something else outside of your own home, outside of your super. You have to have something else. I don't give a shit if it's a business, whether it's a property, whether it's through me or whether it's through somebody else. You have to do something else. So folks, do this exercise today. Write down what that biggest fear is of yours. And then split the page in half, and on the other side write, what's the solution? How do I overcome this obstacle? How do I overcome this fear? Start to think and focus around that. Because the minute you do, you can just come up with one idea. One thing that can just take you from where you are being stuck to get you to where you want to be. And I know that most people out there want a better life. And your better life is on the other side of the fear or the obstacle that's holding you back. Do that exercise today.